You think loneliness is just a modern sad feeling. You are wrong. It is a deadly biological warning. Most people believe solitude is a harmless personal state. To your ancestors, it was a death warrant signed. Why would your brain evolve to punish you physically? Why does isolation trigger the same pain as hunger? The answer isn't in your head. It's in DNA. And the truth reveals why you struggle right now. To understand this, we must solve a dark puzzle. How did a weak, slow animal conquer the planet? The answer isn't our tools or our massive brains. It is hidden in the silence of the woods. But before we unlock that, consider a single fact. There is a specific reason you feel social anxiety. It wasn't designed to be a curse for you. It was designed to keep you alive long ago. Imagine you are lost, deep in the dark forest. The sun is dying, and the sounds start changing. You aren't just afraid. You are experiencing true terror. But is that fear coming from the environment outside? Or is it coming from something far deeper, internally? Most experts get this part of the history wrong. They claim humans are naturally loners who built tribes. The evidence proves the exact opposite is true here. We didn't form tribes to satisfy a social whim. We were forced into tribes by biological sheer necessity. If you were alone, you were not just lonely. You were literally the next meal for a predator. So how did your brain turn pain into protection? How did it force you to seek the group? And why, 2 million years later, is it broken? This mystery holds the key to your human drive. We are going to track the evolution of pain, from the first silent nights in the wild woods to the crushing weight of modern isolation today. Here, you might think you know why you feel alone, but you haven't seen the evidence of the past. We are about to look at the cold biology. We are about to see how the tribe formed and why your brain is still scanning for danger. Are you ready to see what was actually hiding? The history of loneliness is the story of survival, and it starts with a single, brutal, cold realization. The forest was a place of constant, absolute danger. Every shadow held a threat to your small tribe. To wander outside the group was to die alone. This is why loneliness is not just an emotion. It is a signal that your survival is failing. It is a signal that you are exposed, weak. Early humans did not sit with their lonely thoughts. They did not contemplate their lack of human connection. They reacted with the speed of a startled deer. They looked for the fire, for the voices. They looked for the familiar faces of their kin. Loneliness was the engine that powered our social evolution. Without it, we would never have stayed together. Without it, the fire would have gone out. And without the fire, the species would vanish. But what happened when the tribe was gone? When a hunter was separated from the group? This is where biology becomes truly fascinating. When that ancient hunter was separated from his tribe, his brain did not enter a state of sadness. It entered a state of emergency, a fight mode. Deep inside the brain, the amygdala flared up. This is the region responsible for your survival instincts. It detected the absence of the group immediately. It flooded the body with cortisol and adrenaline fast. The lonely human was now physically hyper-alert, scanning. Every rustle in the grass became a potential predator. Every shifting shadow became a threat to his life. This is the biological origin of social anxiety today. It was a feature designed for the savannah exactly. It was designed to keep the hunter alive long. He had to find the tribe before night fell. If he didn't, the predators would find him first. He wasn't feeling sad about being by himself. He was experiencing a full-body alert for his life. He was built to prioritize the tribe over self, because the tribe was the only thing protecting him. Without the group, he had no fire, no weapons. He had no way to keep the darkness back. He had to move. He had to track them. He followed the faint smells of wood smoke drifting. He tracked the broken twigs and the footprint paths. This wasn't a choice. It was his base biology. The pain of loneliness was his internal compass here. It pulled him toward the group, like a magnet. This mechanism is why the human species survived predators. While other animals relied on speed, we used groups. While others relied on claws, we used our bonds. This is the most important lesson of our past. We didn't survive because we were the strongest hunters. We survived because we were the most bonded creatures. We learned to communicate through gestures and sound fast. We learned to share food even when it's scarce. But there was a catch to this ancient life. If you broke the rules, you were cast out. Exile was the ultimate death sentence in that era. To be cast out meant you were truly alone. No protection, no fire, no share of the kill. This fear of exile is deep in your code. It is why the thought of being rejected hurts. It is why we crave the approval of others. We are all descendants of those who feared exile. Those who didn't fear it simply died out early. So how did they master the art of belonging? They developed rituals that forged the tribe into one. They didn't just sit together, they functioned as one. But what happened when the group grew too large? When the tribe could no longer fit together here? The ancient mind had to find new ways, faster. They had to create symbols, art, and sacred rules. As the tribe grew, simple gesture was not enough. Survival required something more, something that lasted nightly. The answer to tribal cohesion was found at fire. Around the flames, the ancient brain finally felt safe. The flickering light kept the predators at a distance. The heat allowed the body to enter deep rest. But the fire did more than just provide warmth. It provided a stage for the first complex stories. In the dark, the group rhythmically mimicked one another. They shared the same pulse, the same shared gaze. This rhythmic bonding calmed the brain's alarm system down. It signaled to the amygdala that safety was restored. This is why we still crave a campfire today. It is an ancient signal that the tribe survives. But fire could not protect them from every threat. Some threats were invisible, coming from within the group. The ancient tribe had to manage internal human conflict. If two members fought, the group's safety was ruined. They developed early forms of justice and shared rules. They used ritualized dance to solve these internal tensions. They used music and chanting to align their minds. These were not just fun, artistic, or cultural hobbies. These were vital, life-saving strategies for group survival here. If the tribe was not synchronized, it was doomed. A group that fought was an easy, weak target. A group that was synchronized could take down mammoths. This is why we feel an intense biological urge, the urge to fit in, to mirror the group. It is the echo of the tribe's survival code. But even with fire, even with rituals and rhythm, there was always the lurking danger of the night. The moment the fire went out, silence descended again. What did they do in the deepest, coldest dark? They held each other, huddled for collective body heat. Physical touch was the ultimate barrier against loneliness here. It lowered heart rates and stabilized the nervous system. It was the final non-verbal proof of group safety. This explains why human touch is so biologically potent. It is the oldest, most reliable antidote to fear. Without that physical contact, the lonely brain panicked. So they slept in a tangled, warm human mass. They existed as one single, breathing, protected superorganism. This is the reality of the ancient human life. It was not a life of individuals seeking comfort. It was a life of total, absolute group integration. You cannot find a single lonely fossilized ancestor, because to be lonely was to be erased entirely. The tribe was the only way to exist physically. And yet, we still face the same silent nights. But now the fire has been replaced by screens. So we return to the question that started here. Why does the modern brain feel so intensely alone? You are currently living in a globalized digital world. But your brain is still in the deep forest. It is still scanning for the tribe that vanished. It is still waiting for the fire to rise. It is still hungry for the touch of kin. When you feel that hollow ache of deep loneliness, you are not broken and you are not failing. Your brain is simply performing its original ancient function. It is sounding the alarm because it feels exposed. It is sensing that the tribe is not close. It is trying to save you from the darkness. But in the modern world, the alarm is misfiring. The predators are gone, but the biological drive remains. We live in a time of unprecedented social access. Yet, we report higher rates of loneliness than ever. Why? Because screens offer the shadow of connection only. They offer the sound, but not the physical tribe. They offer the information, but not the shared pulse. Your brain knows the difference, and it stays alert. It knows you are not truly with the group. It knows you are still outside the firelight. So, how do we handle this 2 million-year-old pain? The answer isn't in finding new, faster, better tech. The answer is found in returning to the roots. We need the shared rhythm of real-world human connection. We need the safety of deep, reliable tribal bonds. We need to carve out time to sit together, to share a meal, to hear real human voices, to create small physical communities that actually matter now. If you understand that your loneliness is a code, you stop trying to fix it with a screen. You start trying to solve it with a tribe. This is the hidden history of the human species. We didn't survive because we were fast or strong. We survived because we were terrified of being alone, and because that terror forced us to build together. The next time you feel that ancient, aching signal, don't look for a distraction to push it away. Look for a human to pull closer to you. Because deep down, beneath all our modern digital layers, we are still that small, huddled tribal human species, still waiting for the fire to be lit again, still looking for the group that keeps us safe, still trying to solve the problem of the dark. And we will be doing this for generations more, because connection is not a luxury for human survival. Connection is the only reason we are here today. If this history changed how you see yourself, subscribe.